for the love. Doing it for the love, so now I'm doing what I want.
I did it for the love of the shit.
Doing it for the love, so now I'm doing what I want.
I did it for the love of the shit.
And welcome everybody back on another Winning Wednesday here on the Heat Ratio Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Tony Gattillo, joined by John Coker and Coach Dave Dixon. And this week, we're going to get right off the bat, we got to find out what's going on with the Philadelphia Phillies. I'm not even going to get any talk about, what the show is going to be or what we got in store because I'm very frustrated. Very frustrated what's going on with our Philadelphia Phillies because I thought we were going to have a rejuvenation this year. I thought it was going to be a time where it was happy to go to Citizens Bank Park and it's half empty. People are not happy. And if I have to see a lineup of Jason Knapp and Sean Rodriguez, once again, I think I'm just going to put my head in a pile of sand because you might as well just bag up and give up the season. So, hey, Dave, I'm going to ask you because you're the baseball guy, but did we overrate this team in the offseason? Did we get overly excited? Did we put too much stock into this lineup? And what is going on? Because I know we're going to talk about pitching in a minute, but I think personally, the problem is we're just not hitting the ball.
Well, I mean, how can you overlook injuries? McCutchen being out of the
That's
lineup
huge. That's huge.
We're not hitting the ball. He set the table for a lot of things. He was the leadoff guy that we expected him to be. He was doing excellent. I think he was number one before his injury. His on-base percentage was number one in the NL. Now, John might look that up and say I'm wrong, but I think that he led the NL in on-base percentage, and losing him is a big problem. We talked prior to the season about, my opinion was him leading off, and
yes.
It's hard to find good leadoff guys.
You nailed that, by the way, remember?
Lucky guess, but I mean, honestly,
he's too modest. Lucky guess.
But I just see it that being around baseball, watching it for a long time, you notice leadoff guys that do a great job. In Phillies history, Lenny Dykstra was that guy for us for a long time, and then we were spoiled with Jimmy Rollins. Although Jimmy had his deficiencies, he was a great leadoff guy for a lot of reasons.
A lot of people didn't like him in the leadoff spot.
No,
remember we kept trying to get him away from the leadoff spot. I personally thought he was a really good leadoff hitter.
Yeah,
but people say he didn't hit enough. He didn't take enough pitches. He didn't walk enough.
That was
right?
it. He didn't see the ball enough. He didn't take enough pitches. But here's the thing: you want your leadoff guy to be confident and that he can hit his pitch. And if he likes that pitch, then he has to go after it. Be aggressive, right? And that's what Jimmy was. McCutchen had that similar approach. And so now that on top of the alarming arm injuries that I've never seen as a baseball fan of the Phillies for my whole life, I've never witnessed that the amount of injuries that we have on this team. And that is something that, to me, goes back to Kapler.
Why?
Well, because it's your program.
Right.
So you establish how many times these guys throw, right? And here we go. And listen to me for 1 second.
All right.
Your analytical views on how many times I'm going to take this reliever out. He uses a ton of pitchers.
We are only 70 games in, right?
But he uses a ton of these guys.
Okay, so what about David Robertson? He pitched for like 2 games and got hurt. Is that Gabe's fault? The way he managed his arm?
That's a great question.
Right?
No, I'm going to say
Tommy Hunter.
Yeah, what about Tommy Hunter?
Is it Pat Neshek? You're saying these guys have been overused, basically. Essentially, you're saying it's the analytics, the way he's using these guys.
Yeah.
I'm combating and saying that, dude, because some of these guys haven't really even pitched that many games.
Yeah, but it's the amount of times they're out during the day.
Oh, you're talking bullpen sessions.
Well, I'm talking everything, all part of his program. His amount of throws. I've never seen this, and I would love to have the data on the rest of the MLB about how many times our relievers are used comparable to the rest of the MLB, because these injuries, like I said, I don't understand it. I don't understand. Now, if you told me it was more starters that were getting hurt, then you'd be like, okay, they're throwing 95 pitches every 5 days. The stress is there. These guys are pitching 20, 25 pitches, but my thing is that they're using them, his up and downs in the bullpen, what they're doing to train for throwing during the week. there's something that's got to be questioned, in my opinion. And that goes back to the guy that's running the program.
I don't know, man. I don't see what Gabe could do right now with the arms he has. Whether I know you're talking about injuries, but let's just talk about the guys that the Phillies brought in, right? Alvarez stinks, right? How many times Ramos stinks? When is the last time the Philadelphia Phillies have ever had a homegrown reliever that pitched well? Besides maybe Ryan Madsen, I guess was probably
that's a home run, there.
Right?
That's
probably the best one we've had.
And think about it, his longevity for us,
couple years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, how come I can turn on the TV, and I hate the Mets no because I hate the Mets, but how come I can watch the Mets, I can watch the Braves, and they pull their 5th inning guy, their 6th inning guy, 7th inning guy, and these guys are guys from the minors that come up and contribute right away. Our guys blow.
Well,
why is that? We always have to trade for guys.
I compare them to the Yankees. And, Tony, this is what I'm going to tell you, that the people that know more than me that I trust that are baseball lifers.
Well, if they know more than you, they know a lot more than me.
Well, these are guys
when
that
it comes to baseball, I ain't going to lie.
I trust a valued friend of mine, Frankie DeSimbrino. Shout out to Frankie, who runs.
The Fox Chase guy?
He is a Fox Chase guy.
Oh, you hear that, Sean? Fox Chase guys.
So Frankie tells me about the Yankees system comparable to the Phillies. He was friends with Jesse Biddle. You remember Jesse?
Oh, yeah, I remember
right?
Jesse.
Jesse grew up with Frank, and Frank helped him out with a lot of things and said that the Phillies' off-season programming for the pitchers is really non-existent, unlike the New York Yankees. The New York Yankees have a throwing program, and that they established, and that you have to abide by their program. According to Frank, some of the things that he's heard is that the Phillies aren't really that strict with their pitchers and their off-season programming. So
that's a problem.
Well, it's obvious that it's a problem because, like you said, how come these other organizations are capable of home-growing pitching and we have to outsource it all the time?
All the time. We're always seem to be in the market for a reliever.
Mitch Williams.
All the time.
Brad Lidge. Where do we have our guy, like you said, like Ryan Matson? We come up with Ryan Matson one every 20 years, and we only have him for 3.
Dude, you could go back to the 93 team. You talk about Mitch.
That's right.
All those relievers, except for Larry Anderson, were was Larry Anderson homegrown?
Larry Anderson, I think, in the beginning of his career was a Philly
right.
when in the 80 around the 80s time. So,
but when you think about that 93 team, guys like David West,
he
played a role.
Pittsburgh Pirates,
right? David West, right? You're talking Roger McDowell, long-time New York Met, right? We always had to bring these guys in because we didn't have any arms. Still,
so this is part of the deficiency in the program. Now, if you're the head guy, if you're the head coach, you're going to bring in your program. That's your detail. So you have all these injuries. You have these guys that aren't able to produce. It's your It's on you.
Yeah.
But part of it also has to question with the entire organization, in my opinion, too. So,
and some of it is the mentality, almost, Dave, what you're getting at, the mentality of the organization. You look at these teams with the homegrown relievers. You got the Pittsburgh Pirates. You know what I mean? Okay, I know, but I'm saying they stink every year. They play small ball. You got the Oakland Athletics, all these teams, the
Billy
Royals,
Bean, baby.
You got all these teams that they need to rely on these guys because they're not spending money and to run the team. So that really has to be their bread and butter. Now, how they select talent better than others, I don't know, but they got to be putting a heck of a lot more effort than just going and blowing money because that's not on the table for these guys.
But you go to the Yankees organization. If we looked up their pitching staff right now, I would guarantee you that 50% of them are homegrown. Zach
Britton, Autumn Adavino are like 2 of their 7, late inning guys.
Britton was a big free agent signing.
Yeah, you're not. I know you're not. I mean, Betances, I don't know if he may have been. I don't know about Chapman wasn't.
Chapman's not.
No. So I don't know. Those are the big 4 they got at the end, and I'm just. I mean, point taken. You got to look at it over a longer period of time because they did just get Britton and Ottavino this offseason. But
I want to go back to the bats because I want to know why. I mean, I understand the bullpen's a problem. Listen, I get it. And before we get to the bats, the starting pitch is a problem. Let's not forget that, right?
Yeah.
We got a guy in Arrieta who wants to run his mouth that doesn't want the ball. We got a guy in Nola who's a shell of himself, regardless of what his record says, right? And actually, your best pitcher probably could make a case and say Zach Eflin.
How about that?
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day...
So bring up the Arrieta thing. Let's delve into that a little bit.
That's just a rumor.
interesting.
That's just a rumor because obviously he was supposed to pitch on the they call it the rubber match, right, against Atlanta, and I'm hearing he just wanted to skip a start. Maybe he didn't think it was the right conditions for him. And this isn't the first time we've heard this from Jake. This is the first time we heard this from a pitcher. We've heard this from Pat Neshek as well. Pat Neshek is going out there and warmed up, and they give him a little call to the pen, and he go, you know what, the lats bother me. Don't really want to pitch today. So I mean, so obviously, I understand that they're veterans, and you do mainly side with veterans, and what do you do if Pat Neshek? I mean, this is a union aspect too. You're a union shop. I've worked in a union shop, so a union aspect too. The guy says he's hurt. Coach throws him out there. God forbid he gets blown up. Right? What's going to say? Yo, I told Coach I was hurt.
Yeah.
Right now, so it's a fine line. So listen, Jake's disappointed me. Yeah. Because he was supposed to be, the veteran leader on the mound. He was brought here not to win games primarily, but to mentor this young pitching staff. Yeah. Right? And he hasn't really done it. Yeah. And I'm a little disappointed. So
I know you wanted to get into the hitting.
But I look at the hitting because. We were spoiled for what, a month, 2 weeks, right? We're like, oh, this lineup is unstoppable, right? But then everybody just went cold at the same time. Yeah. So, obviously Maikel Franco stinks, right? He gave you what he had. That's it. You know what I mean? For lack of a better term, he blew his load in a week and he's done, right? He can't do anything, right? So a name we talked about in the offseason, maybe they bring a guy in like Mike Moustakas, right? They didn't do it, right? So they stuck with Mikey Franco, biting him in the ass. Maybe, hey, everybody likes Nappy. That's what Gabe calls him, Nappy. I can't stand Jason Knapp. I think he's a stiff. So everybody likes him. Well, he can't. He's hitting 182. That's wonderful. That's what I want to see. Throw him in the lineup, right? So, again, another guy who they misjudged. Listen, Segura's batting under 280. He's a lifetime 301 hitter. There's something going on. Yeah. Cesar Hernandez, here's a problem too. McCutcheon injury was huge. And huge. Cesar Hernandez gets put in the leadoff role. You know what he's batting? No,
I'm not sure.
He was 5 for 50 with an OPS of .243. Okay, that's not cutting it. That's not getting it done as a leadoff hitter. Right? And the other guy that you would hope could be the leadoff hitter, Roman Quinn, is probably made of Lennox Glass because every time he gets on the field, he gets hurt.
Right.
So Matt Klintak, to me, has an issue here.
Yeah.
But the problem is you gave up your number one farm prospect for JT Realmuto. And I'll be honest with you. If you look at Realmuto's stats, he's basically on par to do what he's done in his career. But when we got him, what do we think? Right away, we're like, oh, in this bandbox, he's going to hit 30 home runs. We all bumped him up plus 10, right?
Yeah.
It looks like it's not happening. Yeah. Bryce Harper, everybody's getting crazy. He's not worth the $330 million. Listen, this is typical Bryce Harper. He's still going to end with 35 home runs, knocking 110, and bat 250. That's what he does. But he's very streaky. Rhys Hoskins is another guy. He is essentially on pace to do exactly what he's done every year. So that's why I'm asking, did we overrate this Phillies team?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. I think that because of this injury and because the life of a baseball season, you're 2.5 games, I think, currently out of first place, and we're in the middle of June, and the baseball season is full of ups and downs, and we are obviously on the downside of what we've seen so far, right? So
true.
I think you have a glaring hole in that leadoff, and we need to find via either trade or somebody magically appears and can do that, which I don't foresee unless it's Kingery.
Well, here's the thing. Kingery's probably saved their season, I would think, in the past couple weeks. But you're going to get to a point where you may be forcing Kingery to do something he's not. The other night they put him in a 3-hole. You're forcing. He's not a 3-hole hitter. Now you're getting spoiled, right? Leave him go where he's at and let him continue to flourish, right? The problem is you're getting in his head now. So if he goes bats 3-hole, he gets a different pitch sequence, right? Mm-hmm. He goes 0 for 4 and strikes out 4 times. Now the mental aspects, right? You're killing his mojo, man. Yeah. So you got to be careful what you wish for there.
I'm not wishing for.
No, not you.
I'm not wishing for. But if you don't go get something, like 1-hole hitters don't fall off trees.
No,
that's a specific mindset.
Yes.
That and this is why I said about McCutchen doing it, and he can do it, and if you don't go out and get that specific need, you're going to have to fill that void. And Caesar, that's why we've seen Caesar there, and he's not really.
No,
he's not really a leadoff guy.
He's not a leadoff guy.
You're
laughing.
Your original question was,
did we overrate
them? Philadelphia did, but I don't think outside of Philly did.
That's a good answer.
That's my opinion. Okay. It was, we got Harper. We have nothing to worry about. Think back 2 months ago. To me, it's still the same thing. Look, Dave said it. You got ups and downs through a season. You're not going to go through an entire, there are a few teams. It could Dodgers. I mean, they're steamrolling. You always have 1 or 2.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean, that's no guarantee that they're going to win the whole thing. They're rolling right now. You're going to hit adversity, and you're going to hit it more than once. You're going to have another month where you're not going to hit or you're not going to pitch. All right? To me, the issue is still the pitching. Yes, a leadoff hitter would help. But they're not hitting home runs. They're in the bottom of home runs.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They're towards the bottom and batting average.
Bottom and everything,
bottom
dude.
third. But like you said,
but they're in second place.
Segura is going to hit. He always hits. He's going to hit. All right? Look, Franco was dead weight. You have those holes that need to be filled, okay, with players, and, it hasn't been there yet. That's not to say that it's not going to come. That's not to say that you don't get someone in a trade. But I think just naturally, once these guys get on base, once some of these guys get a little more power stroke, I mean, you're talking if the top 2 guys hit 8 points better, and then you got a couple home runs behind them with Reese, Kingery, Harper. All right, now you're winning ball games. Now you're scoring runs, and you're kind of back to square one. So,
well, who's closing those games out?
Well, right.
Nearest.
Well, and to me, it still comes back to pitching. I mean, yeah, there have been a rash of injuries to the relief pitching, but there's still been no consistency in the starters.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I think Arrieta is held in too high of a standard for what he did 3 years ago with the Cubs.
2015. We can talk about 2015.
Yeah, there's guys that have career magical years, and it doesn't necessarily repeat. And I think what you had last year, which was about a 3.94 ERA, something like that. That's about the guy he is. He's
right. Well, that's why I was saying he was more of a mentor. He's supposed to be your mentor.
Yeah, but also remember the BS last year or in the midsummer. Wasn't he? Who'd he call out? Did he call out Gabe Kapler? Or there was that big to do.
He called.
And I'm just saying he's not. He ain't necessarily the guy that I would want to be the mentor because I don't know. I kind of feel like he got a. I don't know. He's not the
he likes
mentoring
to wear,
type.
Leopard Speedos when he sweeps around. Actually, you know what? That would be a good match for you because, you say back in the day you used to clean up the frat, listen to Shania Twain. So you and Jake probably could hang out sweeping the floor together.
That's fine.
God.
But how would Josh Donaldson look? I know this is hindsight, right? I know this is hindsight 2020, but you talk about for an extra $6 million, money's no object for the Phillies now, right? We could have had Josh Donaldson playing third base instead of Mike Franco.
Yeah, but I think he's stinking it up too.
Who knows? Donaldson's playing pretty well, dude. Check his numbers out. The last 3 weeks. So
if Gabe would call me up, this would be my lineup.
Gabe's called Coach Dave. Here we go.
If Gabe called me up, this is what I'd be: 1 through 8. I'd go Segura, Realmuto, Harper, Hoskins, Kingery, Bruce, Franco, Hernandez.
Yeah, well, here's a problem. Bruce is hurt.
Yeah, it's just for now.
Right, for now, but I'm just saying, and, if I will say something the other night against in the Braves game, that Brian McCann game-winning hit, maybe if you had a defensive substitution out there, they make that play.
Yeah,
All right,
probably.
Jay
so.
Bruce needs to catch that ball.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not giving any mulligans here for the bullpen that stinks that gave that game up, but got to make that play. That's just my opinion. But talk about, here the name, we just talked about starting pitching for the Phillies. We just talked about inconsistencies. One name that we heard last year and in the offseason was Charlie Morton. And we said, man, Phillies really like Charlie Morton. They really like Charlie Morton. Well, they didn't go after starting pitching. I don't know why, but they didn't. Charlie Morton goes to Tampa Bay Rays. And right now he's having a Cy Young Award winning year at 35 years old. Okay, 8-1, 2.37 ERA. I mean, this guy is mowing them down. And Tampa Bay's only a game and a half of the New York Bombers, who, by the way, lead the league in home runs, and just pick up Edwin Encarnacion. Okay, another bomber from Seattle. So, it kills me that why couldn't we have got Encarnacion? Probably because he's only a DH, right? Probably, right? At the stage of his career, like, where would he play here? So, okay, forget that. But I think more of the fact that, I see these moves being made. And, listen, they didn't give up anything for Encarnacion. They gave up like a SEPTA bus driver for him. I mean, it's not a big deal. So, I mean, we could probably make those trades as well. So, Matt's going to have to work some magic. And, I don't know what he can give up or what he can't give up because obviously, you don't want to give. Maybe he could send it out that overrated Mickey Moniak to somebody. He could buy that guy up because here's another wasted draft pick.
Just go raid Seattle's roster.
Well, they seem like the new Marlins. They're just giving people away.
Kyle Seager.
I like Kyle Seager. I'd
rather see that than Donaldson.
His brother's
you don't
pretty
need
good.
another. You don't need another guy to go on a 1 or 2 week hot streak and then bat 203 for a month. Like we just talked about the ups and downs.
I know.
Then you have all those guys batting 200 for a month and you stink. I'd rather get a guy where there's more consistency. You count on him. I can't count on Josh Donaldson.
I just wanted to be
He
excited
don't play.
watching baseball again, and I thought I was going to get that this year, and I'm bored. That's my problem. I'm bored.
That is your problem.
That is my problem.
You got Bryce Harper and Real Muto and all
Bryce
these guys,
Harper,
and you're worried about it.
Charlie Morton.
Yeah.
Interesting thing. 2016 was a Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Four
You don't remember that?
I do now.
I
As
do
I'm
now.
reading
now.
As I'm reading it. And then he played 25 games for Houston in 2017. Is that when they won the World Series? Or it wasn't 2018, was it?
Correct. No,
Yeah.
2017.
And then he's got 15 games for the Tampa Bay Rays in the 8-1, like you said.
Dave's on the fly baseballreference.com over there. You know what I mean?
So Charlie, you talk
Oh,
about
on his
Charlie
flip
Morton.
phone.
Oh my!
On his
flip phone.
razor.
So what about Keuchel? Like why, and how come you didn't go get that?
Probably. Who knows, man? I mean, they
Why
didn't
do you
want to pay the
spend the
price.
Why? But what? Here's to add on to what you're saying. What's your reasoning why? Not your reasoning, but what's the Phillies' reasoning why you didn't go get a start in pitching?
Listen, I honestly think that no matter what anybody says, I know the Phillies were, we'll always remember the synonymous phrase of stupid money, right? We'll always remember that. I still think, even though they have tons of money, I still don't think they're willing to spend it all. I don't. I think they thought, listen, we're going to go out and we're going to trade for JT and we're going to sign Bryce and we're done. We traded for Segura. We were listen. ESPN was telling we had the best all season of any team in Major League Baseball. It wasn't just locally; it was nationally, right? Just like Johnson. So everybody was buying in, right? So now they're thinking, yeah, we're good. But wait, now we got to spend more money. I mean, it just goes to show you. Look what they did with the Jay Bruce trade, right? Jay Bruce owed a lot of money. They only made that trade because Seattle's paying 95% of it. So if they would have never done that, even though they knew they needed a bat. Right? So I just don't think they're really willing to spend what people really think they are going to spend. So
I agree with that. I think that's been part of their
it's been their MO. Yes, it has.
Forever.
Yes, it has. So, you're not going to be the Red Sox and the Yankees, but you'll be like that middling team right underneath. We're going to get close. Yeah. But we're never going to be – they don't want to be the number one spending team in baseball. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. But sticking with baseball – I want to talk about a little fun segment here because we're already like 25 minutes in talking about the Phillies, so which is fine. It's baseball. It's a big deal right now, right? But I want to talk about card collecting and sports memorabilia real fast because, I follow a lot of at Low End Cards is one of them. A lot of people on my Twitter account, and I like when they post rookie cards of that nature, and it brings me back to my childhood because even now I'm into it. It just becomes so expensive compared to what it used to be back in the day. But I love seeing the old-time baseball cards. I don't know were you guys both card collectors? I was a huge card collector since I was about 5.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I say 5, I mean the post Drake, the Tasty Cake cards, right? I mean, they were huge. I couldn't wait. The bazooka cards, with the gum in it,
Yep.
Oh, dude, it was great.
Those were the best cards to get. You could find the 1990 Topps card. You get 15 of them. No, to find in those other ones, like, dude, I never seen that card.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Those were the ones I liked.
I was a huge. Remember when Topps, and we'll get to some specific cards because we had some people tweet into us about cards that they their special cards that they remember growing up. But remember when Topps? It might have been 90, maybe 92. They had the Gold series. They came out with the Gold series. You remember that?
No.
Where Topps had the original set, then they had Topps Gold. So every
so.
card, the label was dipped
in
in 18 or 24 karat gold or something. And I'll never forget. God rest his soul. I know he's not alive right now, but I'm a Northeast guy. There's a guy named Chicky. That was his name. And he had out in the Northeast, he had a garage, and he made it into a card shop. And Chicky ran an auction every week. It was awesome. Dude, I could not wait to get my allowance, go on a Friday to Chicky, give him $5. And for $5, you got 5 pools. And what he would do is he would donate the whole set. Everybody was in there. Bonds, McGuire, Griffey, everybody was in there. And what he would do is he would have the numbers on tickets from number 1 to like $7.95 in a set. And you would give him $5. He would give you 5 pools. You pick it out, and whatever number you would get, it was suspense. Number 392. He would go to the set, pull out number 392. You would see whether it was a common or whether it was a superstar rookie card. Oh, dude, it was phenomenal. I'll never forget that, man. That was one of my biggest infatuations back when I was growing up, and I could not wait to get the Chickies to get my auction on, to get my Topps Gold card.
That's pretty cool idea.
Yeah, it was pretty neat, man. And it brought everybody in because, I mean, you flow in there, you're getting that, and now he's got all the wax packs up, and you're thinking, man, all right, what else can I get now? You know what I mean? You're into it. You're into it. But I'll never forget, which story I asked you guys too as well, and we'll get to some of the followers or the cards they brought up. But my favorite card collecting moment, my favorite pull, I'll say, because I asked this on Twitter, what was your favorite pull ever or favorite card? So I remember it was 1992 Donruss. And I remember this guy, old guy Bruce, ran a pharmacy. And in the back of his pharmacy, he had some wax packs boxes. And they were 50 cents at that time. And he would sell the packs for 3 for $1. Donruss was they were so mass populated that they weren't really worth a lot of money.
Weren't they new too? Like Donruss, or I call them Donruss.
They weren't. Well, yeah, I think the first year was '87.
Okay,
they came out,
yeah.
And then they came out with the Leaf series too, which was Donruss as well. So I'll never forget it. They had this one series. It was the Elite series. So there was 10 cards, Donruss Elite, and the odds were like 1 in like 1,000,000. Like you get these 1 in 380,000. Like it was crazy for 50 cents. And the lowest card was like $350. And back then in '92, $350 is a lot of money for a card. So I remember I go in there, man, same thing. Bruce would buy cards too. So I'd go in there with a bunch of cards. Hey, Bruce, what do you want for these? And he's probably sticking it up my ass the whole time, right? I didn't know, right? So I'm giving him all kinds of cards. He's giving me like $10. So I'm like, all right, what can I buy? So I buy all these Donruss packs. Dude, I open it up and I pull a Barry Bonds Elite, dude, right? 24 karat gold Elite card. And I'm like, oh my God. I was running home. He put it in the sleeve for me. I was so excited. And then I went to a card show. A card dealer. And you remember the Devon Theater?
Yeah.
Right next to the Devon. His name was Lou. Lou's Cards. I went to Lou, and I said, hey, Lou, what can you give me for this? No, he said to me, $35. I said, I'll take it.
Yeah, damn right.
So I sold my biggest pull was a 92 Donruss Elite Barry Bonds. It was worth $350, and he only gave me 10%. I took $35 for it.
That's funny.
So what about you? You a big card? You say you were a hockey guy, card guy.
Well, yeah. We had a card shop in our area, and hockey for me. It was when the Flyers had like Dave Pullen and Hextall was a rookie.
Dave Pullen.
I had Hextall's rookie card, and then a couple of years after that, I continued to collect hockey cards. And one of my biggest pulls was Wayne Gretzky holding up the L.A. Kings jersey. He was just traded from the Oilers.
I remember that card.
And I still have about 3 or 4 of them. But I was into the hockey cards for whatever reason. The reason was because the Flyers were successful, and I loved Hextall, and we played street hockey every day.
Always played street hockey.
And the hockey cards gave out cool things. They had stickers of the logo of each team.
Yes.
So
the holographic ones, right?
These ones were white. They were white background with the logo in the middle.
Okay.
And so we had the hockey masks back then, and the stickers would go all over your hockey mask of every NHL team. So, I mean, that was the stuff I remember. And we used to ride our bikes on Rising Sun Avenue and go to the card store.
Yeah, always go to the card store.
I would steal change from my brother Paul's change jar because I didn't have any money. And he was always saying, "You're stealing change." No, I'm not. Yeah, I was. I was going to get hockey cards.
What was the top hockey card? The top producer, remember?
Hockey card?
Yeah,
well,
the maker. No, not the card. The actual company. Remember OPC Premier?
No.
O-Peachy, man. O-Peachy was
okay. O-Peachy.
Yeah, O-Peachy was prime, dude.
Okay.
You had an O-Peachy card, man. It was like tops. It was like, dude, what is that? Give me an O-Peachy.
So
O-Peachy was Premier.
I had tops. These were all tops cards that I get. I didn't even know that they.
No upper decks.
Nope.
Dude, I remember I pulled a Pavel Bure like holograph from Upper Decks, man. It was sweet looking.
Was he a Canuck?
Vancouver.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yep.
Yes, he was.
Okay.
In the black and gold.
Yeah, those ugly.
Not the black and gold of the crappy Penguins, but for the Canucks. How about you, John?
Hockey. For me, it was always Upper Deck when Upper Deck first came out. So I'll go from hockey. It was Yager's rookie card.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Yager, Lindros, Pavel Bure.
How about Timu Solani?
The other one for hockey, when you said O-Peachy, I don't know. I had some like Russian O-Peachy card.
Yeah, yes.
So they had
the internet. Yeah, man.
Which was tight. They were all in their like red and white Russian uniforms.
Oh,
but
yeah.
They were playing in the NHL. So I had some of those. Baseball got to be Griffey Jr.'s rookie. Upper Deck.
I just posted that on Twitter, dude. That 89 Upper Deck.
The same thing. Me and my buddy get on our bikes.
Yep.
Well, Pittsburgh has much more hills than this.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, dude, you're going down. Now you're pedaling up. Finally get to the shopping center. That place has been out of business for ages. But, dude, they always had the Upper Deck. Like, it was one of the few places that had it. Like, you would go to other places, they wouldn't have the Upper Decks, but they always had them. I think they were $1, then went up to like $1.25. Then next thing you know, it like skyrocketed.
Oh, yeah, man. Upper Deck was, and there was always, I was really crazy, and I still collect cards now. But, there are so many different ways to open packs. People, I would get mad at my buddies, and they would just destroy. I'm like, dude, you just destroyed every card in the pack. Like, very slow on the lip. Bring it back. You got to take half of the pack open on one side. Very easy, so you don't mess the corners up. You can't touch the corners. I told all my kids, man, you got to hold them on the sides. Can't touch the corners.
I open it just like I open a candy bar. You know what I
yes,
mean? You got to get
spread it.
Yes,
exactly.
Same thing.
Exactly.
That's just etiquette.
Yes.
I mean, that's etiquette.
What are we teaching our kids?
Card etiquette.
What are we teaching? So we got some people chime in because I asked what great pools years ago. Our boy Nuckin Futz. Yeah, I'd say that a couple times, right? Mm-hmm. At Eagles Inc. 311, 90 Leaf Frank Thomas. I remember that card. Mm-hmm. That was when Leaf came out. It was like the white border on the side. Frank Thomas as a Chicago White Sox. That was a really good card. Boy Alex A Will 75 checks in. He says he just names a number of guys: Barkley, Irving, Gretzky, Lemieux, Roy, and Mark Messier rookie cards. Mark Messier, that's a nice one right there.
He's a hockey guy too. Obviously, he's got a couple of big names in there.
Yes. Our boy follow avid listener as always, Trevor Harris. What's up, Trev? Jose Lima, Houston Astros, rookie card 99. Man, that's a different one. I wasn't expecting someone no Jose Lima.
How about it?
Right? But I remember, too, getting when Eric Lindros was traded. It was a scorecard. His rookie was score.
Yeah.
I think it was 90 score. And I remember going to the Flyers workout, and I met him, and I got an autograph. So I thought I was the king, dude. I was like, I got an autograph. And then I come to find out, in theory, in memorabilia, if you get an autograph on a rookie card, it kills the value.
How about it?
You got to get it on a common. You can't get. I didn't know that, so I just destroyed my rookie card. But I didn't care, man.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? I didn't care. But I just, the card industry changed so much from when we were growing up to now. It's so expensive. I mean, you need a full-time job just to be a card collector. But the type of cards have come out now with the jersey cards and the they have the picture of the piece of pig skin on there, or hardball, the autograph cards. I mean, it's just, remember watching the shows? Did you ever watch the card shows on TV like late at night? Like it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, like the Home Shopping Network. They're like, yo, listen, we're going to throw in Billy Owens promo card. Can't get it anywhere, right?
Yes.
Dude,
I used to
remember?
watch that a lot. I didn't
I
know where
did
you were
too.
going at first. And I was like,
front
this
row.
set has this rookie card. This, you get them all.
You know how many Sammy Sosa rookie cards I bought off the Home Shopping Club Network that are worthless right now?
That's too funny.
Yeah, so, dude, that was
We'll
was
give
the
you
best.
3 sets of 1990 tops.
Yeah, whoa,
$100.
But
They're
threw
only
in
worth $5 now.
But they always threw in like a promo card.
Yeah.
It was like, you can only get the special limited edition, 1 out of 1,000. You're like, yes, I got $9.99. Like you were thought you were good, and it's worthless, dude. Worthless.
That's too funny.
That's back in the day, man. Remember the before we get to some NBA. Remember the memorabilia books? This is something I have too. They were called Legends memorabilia. I remember them. So literally, like, you would get it once a month, and it was they were expensive, like $20 a magazine, and they had an uncut sheet of cards inside there. That was actually, uncut sheets were worth money back then, right? So, but the front of it was artwork. Like if you Google Legends memorabilia magazines each month, like I remember I have like a Mickey Mantle one, Joe DiMaggio, Jordan. It was an artist that actually painted this picture that they glossed over. Gorgeous stuff. And I think they were out for maybe like 3 to 4 years. It's actually pretty cool. I didn't know if you guys. I'm a hardcore collector, so I got game tickets.
Those memorabilia stores, like going to like who goes to a mall anymore? I don't know.
You go to the shows,
but the memorabilia stores that they have all that cool stuff in. The one was. In our area, I think in Hatboro, they had...
There's one on Connie Line Road.
Yeah,
I know that.
Oh, that George's Collectibles?
Yeah, that's a good one.
They have autograph signings there all the time.
Really?
Yeah, now you go to the Chamonix Mall, Dynasty Sports every month has autograph signings.
Okay.
And if you go twice a year to Valley Forge Convention Center, that's the big baseball card show. Well, I should say sports cards. Because now everything has to be graded, right? So you need to grade it. So that was my other thing, like, I got cards graded, but I would get them done at the show because you're literally giving them your card and you're coming back to get it. They want, if not, you got to send it through the mail. Could you imagine sending like a Joe DiMaggio card out through the mail? I'm not trusting that.
Yeah.
No way. And who's to say it's going to be the same condition when they get it?
Who's to say you're getting it back?
Right. I mean, so that because now you're not selling a card really for face value unless you get it graded. Listen, I could talk about baseball cards all day long. So keep them coming on Twitter at Heat Ratio Sports. I did change the handle up to for the new brand. So at Heat Ratio Sports. Also on Instagram. Keep them coming on Facebook. Love to see what everybody's collecting nowadays. But we got to talk getting a little NBA because if you slept under a rock and you haven't been listening to the headlines, all of a sudden now LeBron's back on top. He's going to win the NBA championship because he got AD. Anyway, so at the end of the day, that's how enthused I am about that. My big thing is, listen, how is the domino effect going to happen now? How is it going to affect the Sixers? How is it going to affect guys like Kemba Walker? How is it going to affect guys like Malcolm Brogdon? I mean, the domino effect from this KD injury that he's going to be out a year right now, and the Klay Thompson ACL injury. Once the Lakers got Anthony Davis right away, they're odds-on favorites just because of that. I think the biggest deal to me is, I'm going to go on a little rant here, but I think it's just major disrespect to any duo that's played in the NBA in the last 20 years. Okay, especially Kobe and Shaq. And I don't like Kobe a bit. I respect his game, but I think he's a smug ass, and I don't like him. Okay? But at the end of the day, for ESPN and all these high national outlets to start comparing AD and LeBron to Shaq and Kobe is a disrespect to any basketball fan that's watched the game for the last 20 years. I'm sorry. Right away, you trade for a guy, and I know, Dave, you would say 26 and 11. I don't really care what this guy's stats are. Okay, this is a historic teammate combination that right away you're telling me that this could be the best combo in NBA history. They haven't even dribbled a ball on a court yet. Okay, Shaq and Kobe won multiple championships together. Stop it. You know what I mean? Like, why do we do that? I don't understand. Why do we got to always compare to other people? Let it play out. If they win 3-4 championships, you know what? Hats off. I'll put them in the same token. But for you to post a picture of, Shaq and Kobe next to LeBron and AD, dude, it just kills me. It kills me. I want to unfollow anybody who even posts that. It really bothers me. I'm sweating. I'm sorry. It just bothers me.
Well, that's part of what we do. Like, we're in our little show here. We make comparisons. LeBron James came out of high school. He was compared to Michael Jordan the next day.
Yeah, I get that. But you're talking about greatest duo. But you didn't say greatest player in NBA history. I mean, people are actually saying, "Oh, this is already greatest duo in NBA history." Are you kidding me?
Well, those people shouldn't breathe.
Yeah, well, they're credentialed reporters too. Okay.
Yeah. Well, they shouldn't breathe the same air as we breathe.
It's ridiculous.
You're comparing AD to Shaquille O'Neal. No, in my opinion, there's only one other center in the NBA that I've seen play that is comparable to Shaquille O'Neal, and that's Akeem Olajuwon. And I say that in all due respect to Russell and Chamberlain,
right?
Because I didn't really see those guys play ever.
I'm glad you said. I agree. I feel the same way.
So
right.
I'm not saying that Will Chamberlain and Russell weren't the best. I'm just saying from what I've seen, Shaquille O'Neal, the next center comparable to Shaquille is Olajuwon, and I would take Olajuwon just because I liked his game better than Shaq's game.
Yes,
but to compare those two to those, first of all, like you said about Kobe, Kobe's game, I still think he's better than LeBron. I know people put him number 3 or whatever. I just think Kobe Bryant was more of a killer than LeBron James. So, but that's just my personal opinion.
So you agree that right away that they should be favored to win it all right now?
No, I don't.
I agree.
I don't.
It's early,
but the NBA landscape is almost different now because you got teams just stacking rosters with free agent signings.
Right.
I mean, in reality, you look at the Sixers. If they didn't get Butler and Tobias, I mean, you look okay. Now they just have 2, which really don't cut it in the NBA now.
But here's what I have a problem with, though. I'm glad you said that. What I have a problem with is why are we different than these other teams, right? So. Okay, so your 2 superstars right now in LA are LeBron and KD, right? Your 2 superstars. You build around them. Well, everybody keeps saying the Sixers need another superstar. Why? Why? We all know why, but we're afraid to say it. Our 2 superstars are Joel and Ben Simmons. But the problem is Ben. I hate to say it, but the problem is always going to be Ben. Unless he changes his game a little bit, it's going to be hard for him to be on the court with certain players because he commands the rock as a point guard, but he can't shoot like a point guard. So he's basically a non-factor on the offensive end. So when you bring a guy that I think that's why Tobias didn't fit as well. I think that's why Jimmy had a problem in the beginning until he started overtaking the games because it's like, wait a minute. Ben is supposed to be running pick and rolls. Ben is supposed to be able to hit a 15-foot jump shot if he's playing a point. And he can't do any of that. So if you're an NBA team, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to say, we don't have to worry about Ben. So now you're playing 5 against 4, essentially. So, listen, I'm not going to get this in an argument about Ben because I like Ben. But I just hope that he realizes what he needs to do in order to be the player that he needs to be for this team. Because we should have 2 superstars we need to build around instead of worrying about bringing in other superstars to make this team whole, right? Jimmy Butler brings us Jimmy Butler. What happens with Jimmy Butler? Listen, we're the only team that can offer him 5 and 190. It's a known fact. But Jimmy is at the point in his career, he could take a 4-year max or a 5-year max. He said he deserves max money, right? But he didn't say is that 4 years or 5 years, right? So we don't really know exactly what he's going to do. I mean, let's face it. If Houston calls you up tomorrow, if Chris Paul gives you a call and says, listen, man, me and Hardy just hugged it out. We good. We're going to roll. Let's bring this threesome here. Yo, come on here, JB. We got no Clay. We got no AD, no KD in Golden State. Okay, Kawhi's going to leave. Okay, in the East, maybe he comes out West. I don't know, but we can run this table. Jimmy got to think because they're probably going to be primed, to be in that position more than the Sixers are, if he leaves. So, listen, I don't know what's going to happen with Jimmy. People are sold that Jimmy's going to sign here. I'm not too sure, man. I'm not too sure. I could definitely see him going to a different team based on the Ben and the Joel. I still think Jimmy wants to be Jimmy. And I think Jimmy wasn't himself all the time because he forced to be somebody he wasn't. And unfortunately, he's going to have to do that on his team if he wants to be here. So it's going to be interesting. You think he signs here?
I'm hoping.
I'm hoping too, but
yeah,
I think
I think, and this is just obviously hopeful, but I think Butler can be more of an influence and a table setter, if you will, and a leader on this team with these young guys.
I agree.
And I think he can leave his mark in the NBA better with this franchise. Obviously, I'm speaking as a homer, wanting him to stay in Philadelphia.
Sure, absolutely.
And I know your issues with Ben Simmons, but I consider the same issues with both of those superstars. They both need to mature. Joel needs to condition himself and get his mindset right, and Ben needs to up his game. I think Butler's influence on those two will make them.
We hope.
Yes, if he decides
are they
to stay.
Listening?
I don't think he would want to play with a player like Harden. Jimmy Butler. I think this is what I see.
That's a good point.
And I'm again hopeful.
Right.
I don't want to play with a one-way player. If I'm Jimmy Butler, he sees the work ethic of those two young guys. He knows that they work hard. There's no doubt about it that they try.
Except on our shot.
Well, that's something maybe that this veteran can help with. Hopefully.
Dude,
that's
Simmons
the way
is
I
spending
see
too
it.
much time with the Kardashians when he should be
broke
shooting
up.
They broke
fouls.
up, dude.
I don't care.
No
Now
longer.
he's shopping for Lamborghinis.
Then he's sitting in a corner crying about it when he should be at the foul line shooting the
to
ball.
him.
Shoot the
corner
ball.
crying.
Shoot the ball.
I agree. He's got to take a shot.
No, he needs to be doing this now.
Listen, you're not gonna have to sell me on it.
Jimmy
I agree.
Philly needs Jimmy Butler more than Jimmy Butler needs Philly.
Yes,
period.
you're absolutely right.
I agree with that.
Because let's think about this team, right? Say Jimmy doesn't sign and Tobias doesn't sign.
You're just
Where
lost,
do we go?
You just lost Shamet and the rest of the guys you got rid of.
But you know what? Even if you bring on a big free agent, it's going to take a year to mesh.
Yes,
because Simmons and Embiid are not. It's just not your prototypical situation you're walking into. So it's going to take time to figure it all out.
I mean, listen. The easiest thing here would be, okay, Jimmy. We sign Jimmy. We sign Tobias. We bring back JJ in a bench role. Because he still needs to be, at this age of his career, he needs to be a bench player.
Yep.
You'll re-sign Mike Scott. You bring back James Ennis on a 2-year deal. Okay, he just declined because he wants more money. Okay, they have the mid-level exception. Okay, they'll be able to build a nice bench. But my thing is Tobias, is he really like, I don't think he fits.
He's expendable.
And that's my issue. I don't think he fits. I think all I'm going to say is I don't know this for a fact. Okay, obviously we're all 2 days away, actually 1 day away from the NBA draft. I think Elton Brand has something up his sleeve. I do. I keep hearing signing trades. I would not doubt there's teams that are interested in Tobias Harris, but they can't afford Tobias Harris. So the next best thing is if Elton Brand isn't comfortable in giving Tobias Harris that max contract, he may be able to pull off a sign and trade, for 3-for-1 deal. And if he could do something like that and sign Jimmy, I think we're better off. That's just my opinion. So we'll see what happens.
Well,
there's going to be a lot of action.
But I want Carson Edwards. I'm just telling you right now. the kid from Purdue. I want Carson Edwards. I don't care if he's 5'11". I could care less. My man is a shooter. He's not afraid to put the ball up. He's not afraid, and that's what we need desperately on this team. Okay, you basically you bring a guy in like Carson Edwards, and you're basically putting him in for T.J. McConnell. Okay, because T.J. Listen, I love you, T.J., but there's a reason why T.J. didn't play in the playoffs because he's T.J. McConnell. Okay, so let's just I respect what he's done, okay, because he's been undersized, okay, and he's limited offensively, and he's really worked his butt off to get to where he is. I mean, he's a great story. But at the end of the day, with the money he's going to command, he's going to do us no justice. If you're going to pay a guy like that, he needs to play. Not you can't be a guy you're afraid to put in a game situation. So you essentially get a guy like Carson Edwards, who now becomes your backup point guard, who's not afraid to shoot. That's a great deal. But here's the issue with this team. You can't spend money on everybody. Mm-hmm. So eventually, a guy like Zaire Smith is going to have to contribute in some kind of role. He can't not play. Shake Milton is going to have to play. Okay, just like Cook played. Okay, play decent minutes for Golden State. And let me just tell you something real fast. I want to touch on this. I noticed this on our preview sheet when we talk about Golden State. Shout out to Andre Iguodala. Okay, and I am not an Iguodala guy. I never was. But I never questioned his work ethic and his effort. And, I thought it was funny that people were questioning. I think when you talked about Dave, I'm not sure, they kept saying, is he a Hall of Famer? Is he a Hall of Famer? I don't want to get in that I'm not going to get into that topic, but all I'm going to say is I watched him carry a Steph Curry-laden team in Golden State. I watched him play with so much confidence and so much poise, and that dude is unbelievable, and I don't think he gets enough respect. Okay, I apologize. I don't think he got enough from me. But this man, from the defensive end to the offensive end to the bench, I mean, he was locking like 25, 28 minutes. Okay, he was D'ing up everybody out there. He was killing Kawhi. Okay, he was killing Kyle Lowry. I mean, he was giving them fits. And he was hitting threes. He was doing pick and roll. I mean, he was leading that charge for that team. I think it goes unnoticed. Yeah. I really do, because we remember the Iguodala Iguodala, he got max money. Why? Because we had no other choice. Mm-hmm. He had to be the face of this franchise, okay, when AI left. It is what it is. And he didn't live up to expectations, but was that fair? Did we put him up on a pedestal he wasn't ready to sit on? Right? He found his niche. He found his role. And I just want to give a shout out because I think he played so well. And that's the kind of importance you need as a six-man on a team. Yeah. And that's something that the Philadelphia 76ers greatly miss, especially if we're talking about going into a playoff series, right? So, listen, Elton Brand's got a lot of work to do.
He's a big reason why they won multiple championships out there.
Big time.
Andre Iguodala is, I mean,
it's crazy.
He's done a really, really good job at knowing his role and understanding what his detail is supposed to be. And he accomplished that. He accomplished that and then some. I mean, he's given them more than what they expected from him. But he's always been an all-around good basketball player. It's just that, here we needed him to be, like you said, we needed him to be the next level, and he wasn't able to do that. But he's still, I don't know.
He's a phenomenal player, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's a true two-way player.
Yes, he is. I mean, keeps himself in phenomenal shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, always was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, listen, shout out to go. And that brings you up to the Golden State point, right? What do you do with KD? What do you do with Clay? Do you tank the year? I mean, essentially, you got Steph. Yeah. And, Steph's going to be 30 years old, right?
Yeah.
So, maybe you ease Steph this year. You give him a lot of rest.
Yeah, right.
Build up his ankle strength again, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to win next year.
Right.
Get a decent draft pick. And then you come back strong with Clay and Steph and Draymond. If you work out a deal to get him to stay. I mean, listen, I think KD stays. I don't think he has a choice.
Well, they should sign them both.
Right? So, at the end of the day, next year is up for grabs. And if the Sixers make the right moves, they could be in that talk. But they need to make the right moves.
People need to want to come here. That's you need one guy to step up and say, I want to be a Sixer. And you never hear them in the mix. You just don't. You see the Kawhi Leonard picture, and you see in the background the logos of the Raptors, the Clippers, the Lakers.
Yep.
Who else did I see in there? I think the Rockets might have been in there.
Rudy Tomjanovich era.
I'm like, the Sixers are never in the mix of receiving one of these big-time guys. And it's disappointing. I would think that they would see somebody like Joel and Ben and want to play with them, but maybe it goes along the lines of what you two were talking about, and about, well, they need to develop these things in order for people to want to come here. So we'll see.
You never know, man. You never know. So I want to touch on something, get both guys' opinion on this before we roll out. And hey, real fast, we got another, my man Jeff Iatarola checks in. And again, check him out on Instagram, okay? Audio Assassin. He's the guy who made our beat in the beginning, and our intro and outro. Man, he's sick. He's ripping the vinyl up. He stays true to his roots, so check him out. He checks in Ricky Henderson, rookie, 1980 tops. That's a good card. You remember? I remember that card vividly.
So Ricky Henderson, was that – hold on, don't tell me. His rookie card, did he get drafted by the Padres?
Nah, that's Oakland. His rookie card was an Oakland A's card, though.
He wasn't drafted.
I don't know if he
wasn't drafted by the Oakland.
All I know is his rookie card was an Oakland card.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Because I remember it.
I didn't think he got drafted by the. I could be wrong.
It was the one with the. He's actually in. He's standing at base. I'm pretty sure it's the one where he's got the face smile signature on the card, banner up top. Google that. Google that 80 tops Ricky Henderson. I'm telling you. So while you're googling that, let me read you this. Okay, this is from Kevin Arnovitz, ESPN writer. Okay, the headline is "Players Aren't Happy and Why." Okay, we're talking about the NBA, and his opinion. This is what he says: the NBA has been trying to figure out why its players aren't happier. One possible factor as we head into the draft: incoming NBA players aren't afforded the most basic amenity of professional and personal happiness, a say in where you work and live. So, I think this is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know about you guys, but so now you're telling me that we should just go up to Zion. I mean, hey, Zion, where would you like to play and live? Because we just want you to be happy. Just want you to be happy, right? This is the most absurd thing I've ever heard before of in my life.
Oh, my God.
So, I mean, that would be great. Could you imagine on a normal day, your career, Dave, we're going through the classifieds. Like, somebody just call me up and say, hey, Dave, where do you want to work, man? And what do you want to make? I want to make you happy. Where would you like to live? That's freaking fairy tale land. Yeah. Listen.
Electric company needs people in Oklahoma. Right. Hey, guys. You're going to Oklahoma or you have no job.
That's basically the way it works. I mean, you're getting paid an extremely, insanely amount of money, okay, to do a sport. Now, obviously, that you work your butt off at. It's a craft. It is. But you're getting to do what you love. Isn't that enough?
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to be paid handsomely to do what I love. Okay, I think we all would. And just, let me pick where I want to live. I mean, when does the entitlement factor get out of hand? Because I think that's a problem with society today, especially with kids today. Everybody seems like they're entitled. They're entitled to everything. Okay, I work in a shop, and I watch guys that have been there for 30 years, and the guys that come in their first year, they want to do what everybody does at 30 years. Dude, you're not entitled to do that. You need to work, dude. You put your time in. That's the way this thing goes. So I completely disagree with this piece, 100%.
I don't even think it should have been written.
Listen.
No player should be asked that question.
I agree. Nobody.
I agree.
John says, I agree. I agree.
There ain't nothing else to be said.
You play for San Antonio. They drafted you. That doesn't force you to live there.
Right.
You can go send your family wherever you want.
Right. You can have 5 houses wherever you want.
You're on the road from October through June. Or, you know what I mean, September through June, you get a few
Listen,
months off.
This all started with Kobe Bryant and Eli Manning. They are the guys who basically started this because Kobe got drafted by the Charlotte Hornets.
I'll give you John Elway.
Oh, really?
John Elway was drafted by the Yankees first.
Okay.
And then the Colts. And he said no.
See, and that's what I'm saying. So, same thing. So, you got Elway, you got Kobe, and who else did I say?
Football player, Manning.
I'm just kidding. So, here's Eli Manning who says, listen, I'm not playing in San Diego.
Actually, his daddy said it.
Well, yeah, Archie.
And how about Lindros?
I forgot about that. Lindros said, I'm not playing here.
And Ricky Henderson was a rookie.
Was that card right?
Yeah, I'm looking at it on John's
did I describe it?
Yeah, you did good.
Like I said, dude.
You did good.
I'll teach you a few things.
I'm listening.
Yeah. But listen, man, we're going to have to roll out. We fill up an hour, goes fast, as always. Listen, shout out to all our listeners and followers out there. Numbers roll in, 23,000 downloads last month, so very proud of that. A lot of hard work goes into this show. We appreciate all the comments. And listen, the reviews keep coming. Please keep them coming. Ratings, reviews on iTunes. You can find us on Spreaker. You can find us on YouTube. Find us on Instagram. Find us on Twitter. For your host, Tony Jigsaw Cotillo at TCotillo23. John, PGH John 36, and Coach Dixon at Coach Dixon 365. Dude, I was doing good for a while there, and then
you did great.
Last week messed me up. So, remember?
No.
Yeah, the coach shirt. Remember?
Yeah,
it messed me up.
The one that you're buying me.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody. See you next week. We out.